Hey everyone, thanks for coming back for another segment of Michigan Conservative Roundtable. My name is TJ. I have Mac to my right. And I just wanted to bounce off Mac a couple news articles that kind of got my attention, and I touched on one a couple weeks back, and it just it's still irritating me, all right? But let's just start with the first topic here. I saw an article about a man by the name of Darius Perkins. Did 25 years for selling crack cocaine. Now, I will stop at this point and say he probably had it coming. Selling crack cocaine, ruining people's lives. Yeah, you had it coming.
No sympathy from me.
No sympathy. The 25-year sentence was in large part to legislation championed by Joe Biden.
Right.
Okay?
Clinton crime bill.
But then you consider Biden's crack addict son, who hasn't seen the inside of a jail cell, I don't think, one night.
Not for his illicit drug use, I don't believe.
I mean, you think of how quickly or to what extent they were going to put Mr. Perkins here in prison for 25 years. That's a quarter of a century. And then you take his...
Well, it's a third of anyone's life expectancy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you take his piece of excrement son, who's done countless of illicit activity, we'll say, to be polite.
Sure.
And like I said, I don't even think he spent one night in jail from what I understand.
Yeah.
It's just, I find it ironic.
Well, I know some will jump to the conclusion, and always do, that, and I don't know Mr. Perkins' race, other than human.
He is a minority.
Okay, so let's say he's a black man. I don't know that for certain, but people will be quick to say, well, he's a white guy, Hunter Biden, and Mr. Perkins here is a black guy, and that's why the disparity. I think disparaging...
You know what, you follow that argument, goes to the whole, so much for being for minorities on the Democrats' part.
Yeah, exactly. So the difference, I think, is it's a matter of money. Hunter Biden is very rich because of his alleged criminal activities, and Mr. Perkins is not rich, probably got richer.
And I'm going to throw into the mix here, a little off topic, but I'm going to throw into the mix, and you consider the viciousness they went after Trump's kids.
Oh, yeah.
To include, and the mocking of poor Barron.
Yeah.
Okay?
Oh, what did the pig that used to be on The View, the comedian, her name escapes me, Rosie O'Donnell. Rosie O'Donnell was alleging that, I think the word retarded was used, that Barron was retarded.
So...
To which, so what if he was?
I just, I couldn't help but make a comparison in all of this.
Oh, it's sickening. It's the which in another video I say that I'm not pro death penalty, and this is why. Justice is not dispensed equally. If you have money for a great lawyer who knows the ins and outs, and hell might even know the judge, you get one break. But if you're poor, and that includes black and white, because there are plenty of white people in prison, and I would bet most of the time they're poor. Poor people go to prison, rich people skate.
Well, I'd like to move on to the next topic here, and it's unrelated, but it's just something. And I talked about this a couple weeks back, and it's the returning of the Cuban refugees. And I saw a news article just a few days ago. Saw a news article where 21 people on a boat that was barely floating was intercepted, and these people were being sent back to Cuba. And you know what? When these people go back to Cuba, it's almost a death sentence in returning them to Cuba,
right?
Because they're going to go to a prison or a re-education camp or whatever, where there's not much of a probability they may not survive it,
right?
And And the reason why I mention this is, and then you go back to what we got going on down on the Mexican border, and I like to, in keeping this PG, refer to all of them as, you got all these swinging appendages, that are coming across our border and allowed to remain. And
well, it's part of the catch and release. While they're practicing, they're saying that catch and release for some immigrants, and other immigrants are getting caught and returned.
Yeah. Why can't they
get an opportunity to file for political asylum? They're not even getting the opportunity. They're just shipping them back.
Yeah, and that's just and in my previous solos, I was pretty fired up about that, and I had to do too, because the more I thought about it, the more fired up I got.
The voting records of the two groups are vastly different.
And here's the thing, and on a side note on the second issue, they so badly want to enforce COVID restrictions on us, and these people that are coming into across the border are what, 300-500% higher.
The unvaccinated, such as myself, was referred to a percentage of the idiots in this country, because I just need to be told what to do. They would have me put in an internment camp because I don't want to get what could be their death shot.
Well, as I was reading the news articles, I came across these two pieces of articles, and
are they getting isolated for 2 weeks when they run across our border? I don't think so.
I don't know.
Are they getting on buses driven by the Army or Marine Corps and taken and distributed all over the country for electoral reasons?
In any event, just more Democrat hypocrisy, I'll tell you.
Just criminal activity is what it is. It's illegal to enter this country without going through the proper channels, and they are an accomplice in that crime.
And that's all I got, unless you got any more thoughts.
No, they make me sick.
Yep. All right. Thanks, everyone, and stay tuned for our next segment. As always, be safe, watch your six, and don't tread on me.